Outcome of ND-YAG laser capsulotomy in patients with uveitis by Dr. Rasmi Nanda. Okay, you can.
Good morning to all the panel members and my colleagues. The topic of my paper today is outcomes of YAG laser capsulotomy in patients with uveitis. We do not have any financial interest. Background: the outcomes of YAG laser capsulotomy in patients with uveitis and coexistent ocular comorbidities like glaucoma and cystoid macular edema are not well known. Aim of our study was to evaluate the visual outcomes after capsulotomy and to study the rate of complication as well after capsulotomy in uveitis patients. 102 patients with uveitis who had YAG laser capsulotomy between December 2020 to April 2022 were retrospectively evaluated, and informed consent was obtained from all subjects based on Declaration of Helsinki, and research protocol was approved by the Institutional Ethics Committee. Inclusion criteria included age above 18 years and a minimum inflammation-free period of 3 months, which was defined as less than 5 cells per high power field. And exclusion criteria included follow-up less than 9 months and pre-existing retinal pathologies like retinal detachment and diabetes. Outcomes were documented at 3rd, 6th, 9th and 12th months after the capsulotomy was done. The parameters which we noted was the type of surgery, cataract surgery, the IOL material, duration between cataract surgery and capsulotomy, history of glaucoma and cystoid macular edema, total YAG energy used, cells and flare in AC, intraocular pressure, IOL pitting, development or exacerbation of previous cystoid macular edema and retinal detachment. Results. Etiology of uveitis, we saw that in majority of cases, 46 patients had the etiology was mostly idiopathic. In 12, it was fused heterochromatic iridocyclitis, followed by HLA-B27 associated uveitis, then tuberculosis, sarcoidosis, multiple sclerosis, herpetic and toxoplasmosis. The baseline characteristics which we noted were the mean age varied from 48 plus minus 12. Type of surgery which included phacoemulsification group, there was 42 patients, and in SICS 60 patients. Type of IOL in acrylic group 44 patients, and for PMMA 58. Baseline IOP which was recorded was 16.8 plus minus 8. And glaucoma on treatment, there were 2 patients in this group, and history of cystoid macular edema, 12 patients were present. Mean energy used, mean YAG energy used was 86 millijoule, which ranged from 40 to 140 millijoule. And mean interval between the cataract surgery was 18 months, ranging from 4 to 40 months. And the follow-up period was between 14 plus minus 10 months. 5 patients in phaco group and 4 patients in SICS group had persistent uveitis at 1 month, and out of these 6 patients developed cystoid macular edema, and after treatment they had resolution and CME subsequently in 4 eyes. 21 patients developed a rise in intraocular pressure after laser, and out of these 6 had sustained rise of IOP and were referred to glaucoma clinic for further management. Visual outcomes after 12 months, we saw an improvement in 72 patients, which was like BCVA 6/6. And in 26 patients, we did not see any improvement. The vision remains same. And in 4%, we saw a reduction in best corrected visual acuity. And the reason for no improvement basically were development of cystoid macular edema, macular degeneration, IOL deposits, glaucomatous optic atrophy, macular hole, and in 1 patient that we were not able to find any reason in 1 patient. Reason for worsening of vision was we saw that there was persistence of vitreous cell and new-onset cystoid macular edema, which led to worsening of the case. after capsulotomy, we saw in 20 patients there was improvement with 1 Snellen's line, then in 16 patients up to 2 Snellen's line, in 8 patients up to 3 Snellen's line, in 10 patients up to 4, in 18 patients up to 5, and in 26 patients it remains same and worsened. Take-home message is that pre-existing cystoid macular edema and persistent cellular activity in vitreous are the main causes of poor visual gain after capsulotomy, and in these patients, capsulotomy should be performed with caution. These are my references. Thank you. Retinal detachment, other retinal pathologies are shown.
What is the follow-up? I mean, how frequently you saw the patients?
Ma'am, we did a follow-up at 3, 6.
Did it be 3?
Ma'am, no ma'am. The same day as well. I did the same day. Then at 7-day interval, and that after that 3, 6, 9.
And you mentioned that at 1 month there was persistent uveitis in the cases.
Ma'am, some patients come to follow. We basically call patients at 7, then at 1 month, then 3rd, 6th, but I have mentioned in this that 3, 6, 9.
And this is what extra precautions you took in such cases. In the case of uveitis,
Yes, ma'am.
if the patient is to be posted for PI capsule,
Yes,
so what extra precautions you take in such patients?
Ma'am, basically, so we evaluate the patient first with slit lamp, and we see the peripheral retina, peripheral fundus, and
Any change in medications?
ma'am, we give to lower the IOP, we give Timolol as well after week 2.
Another thing?
Did you have those? Are you classifying them also as PCO or even on the anterior surface of the eye? That is more common actually.
Yes.
They get these deposits. Did you also look at those?
No, ma'am. Just looking at the issue.
Let's go to the types of uveitis, the frequency. After that was first.
So what is your take-home message?
Ma'am, the take-home message is that mostly the mean energy level that we use, initial and then the mean energy level should be lower in specifically in cases of uveitis, because it causes much more complication. Like the higher the energy level we use, higher is the rate of complications.
I think you were mentioned on pre-existing edema, your last slide. So we have noted here pre-existing macular edema and persistent cellular activity. So you post those cases for your capsulotomy.
Now, if they have mostly though we don't post those cases. If they have, then we exclude them.
So that is an exclusion criteria rather. Second thing what I wanted to know, whenever you are telling cataract surgery, was it just single episode anterior uveitis and then it's a normal phaco cataract, or it is a complicated cataract which was operated before it? Did you classify them, which cataract surgery patients you took?
Basically, this was the general, it was not complicated or.
So these are all normal phaco, they are not complicated cataract.
Yes, ma'am.
So any, this is your study type was, which study?
Retrospect.
Retrospective. So there is no control you compared with controlled capsulotomy? Okay. Thank you.
Because that would have a bearing on your findings and your statistical analysis. So all these cases were just on topical steroids, that's it. None of them was on new systemic conditions were associated with the uveitis, and none of these patients were on any systemic steroids or any IMT. Or maybe you didn't look into that.
So actually it was a retrospective study, so I just took the data and
Okay, but was that data available about systemic disease and disease modifying agents? Because that has a bearing.